Well, the reading for this evening, the parable of the wicked tenants, is unequivocal about commitment. The main point to be taken away from the parable is that if we have entered into a relationship with God, the vineyard owner, and if we claim to be followers of his will, we have a personal responsibility to bear fruit in accordance with that will. In other words, we are each accountable to Christ for our actions through our daily lives. And Christ, of course, is the Son who was killed. If we, the tenants, fail to hold up our end of the bargain, well, judgment will not be favourable. But bearing good fruit may mean that our faith journey moves us into uncharted territory. And in our contemporary world, it must evolve to respond to the new situations and challenges that it encounters. But can we ever confidently talk about following our faith with determination and endurance? And by endurance, I do not mean this in the sense of an unnaturally ascetic lifestyle or an overdeveloped practice of self-denial. I mean a faith that is pursued as though it permeates everything we do and say. A faith that we work out with passion and creative vigour. A faith that shows itself to the world, that shows how it works and how it connects with the lives that people lead. So much of contemporary faith seems to lack any real bite. Well, it's true that we do collude with consumer culture and have many distractions and are indeed inclined to practice consumer Christianity. We may pick and choose the bits that we are comfortable with, and we can discard the bits that we don't like. But in the bigger picture, the church is frequently perceived to have lost its nerve. External critics observe that we have developed a bunker mentality. The church is seen as becoming ghettoized and in retreat from the world. And we certainly cannot ignore those critical voices, both inside and outside the church, who say that Western Christianity is found wanting. Sadly, when people talk about having faith, they usually mean going to church. And when people talk about church, they are usually referring to buildings. Seldom do people talk about being church in the world, or church community, or family. But what about our own situation as individuals in a community of faith? Why are we here in church tonight? Is it to offer that which is of worth to God? Is it to strengthen our commitment and resolve to express our faith more deeply in the community? Or have we simply slipped into unquestioned routine or accepted habits and patterns? Is going to church just another activity that punctuates the rhythm of our week? And when we go out into the world again, do we really act and speak in the name of Jesus Christ? It's so easy for us to take our eye off the target by so many contemporary distractions. And our goals are often obscured by a veil of fog of our own making. Yes, we often do a good job of talking about right action. But are we always so good at embracing the faith that sustains those actions? Jesus and the first disciples, faith came first. The disciples acted in the name of Jesus Christ because by their commitment to Jesus, they were empowered by him. Their actions arose from a deep and abiding faith. They demonstrated real commitment, full commitment. In a recent radio discussion programme, the topic of faithfulness and commitment was under discussion, and a Christian woman remarked that a wife who is 85% faithful to her husband is not faithful at all. And she went on to say, by the same token, there is no such thing as part-time loyalty to Jesus Christ. Well, there is a scary but unavoidable truth in this remark. It reminds us of the great cost of becoming a disciple of Jesus. The reality of this can sometimes crush us, and the hurdles we know we should attempt to overcome may lead some into a kind of spiritual depression. But we are individuals, and working out our faith as individuals in the world inevitably means that our commitment will take many forms. There is no one stereotypical vision of how we live out our faith. We each make faith our own. We are different selves to different people, and our expressions of faith will reflect this. We all have different gifts, talents, and personalities, for diversity is part of the grand picture. But our world of faith is rather different to that of those early disciples. It was the fresh and vibrant reality of Jesus which burned into their souls that made the early developing church such an exciting project. Could it be that we have lost a good deal of that excitement and passion? To determine faith to come alive now, in a world of rapid change and conflicting forces, we need to take risks, not just in terms of what and how we believe, but in how we express and live our beliefs. Faith, I think, needs to take risks at all levels, but especially in finding different ways of being church in the world. We need imagination to form a credible faith that will snap us out of our comfort zones, and not least to show the secular world that the church has moral concerns beyond an apparently destructive obsession with same-sex relationships. This means a faith that accepts that many of our institutions, systems and structures, which we have for so long thought to be fixed, are actually continuing to grow and evolve. But every journey needs some bearings, and of course, we get those from Jesus Christ. It is by his authority that we get through life. There's no doubt that real faith is a long haul. We cannot simply conform outwardly to the standards of our faith. We have to let its real power enter into the inner landscape of our lives. And this surely requires strength of mind and of spirit. It means, as David Livingstone implied, accepting that in many situations there is no map. As Livingstone suggested, faith moves us into new, unknown territory and must evolve to respond to the new moral, ethical challenges that it discovers there. We may not know if there is a good road ahead of us. We may not see clearly what we are walking into or the enormity of the challenges that await us. Well, Palm Sunday symbolises for us the beginning of a journey into great challenges ahead. So let us, with determination, face up to those challenges, but concentrate on the quality of our faith journey and not worry too much about the destination.